Hello everyone, Generation Y Conservative here, and today I'm going to be talking about our favorite nominee for president, Donald Trump. You know, it's no secret to everyone that's been paying attention to the things I've been saying that I am no fan of Donald Trump. But we have gotten to a point now where he's the nominee, and a lot of people are trying to decide whether or not they're going to vote for him or sit at home, because a lot of people aren't too happy that they have the choice between Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. And people are searching for third-party choices. They're talking about sitting at home, not voting at all. They're also talking about going in and voting for everyone but the president. I have come to the conclusion, though, myself, whereas I used to be a NeverTrump person, that now I've come around and realized the importance of voting in this election. And I wanted to give some of the reasons why I believe that voting for Trump, for me at least, is the right thing to do. And I don't want to force that opinion on anybody else. I don't even like telling other people to vote for him, but I wanted to give my reasons on why I'm going to go into that voting booth as of right now, unless he does something really crazy stupid and pulling the lever or pushing the button for Trump. It wasn't too long ago that I was having dinner with friends at our house, and my phone was ringing off the hook during that dinner, and I picked it up to tell my friend that I would call him back after that dinner, and just wanted to make sure that everything was okay and see what was going on, just reassure him that I would give him a call back. Dropped the news on me that Justice Scalia had died that day. It turned the world upside down, for me at least, because I realized the importance of where we were in the election process and the powerhouse constitutionalist that Justice Scalia was, and what we were losing, the possibility of Obama putting someone up into his seat and replacing him, as well as the possibility that Hillary Clinton might replace him as well. So with that in mind, it really got me thinking that even more so than the president and vice president seats right now, my top concern is who is going to replace Justice Scalia's seat. Unfortunately, it's not just Justice Scalia, though. We can possibly hold off that nomination and process of filling that seat until the general election is over and the new president takes office. But there's also a possibility, like always, that the Republicans in control right now cave, as they always do, because there are a bunch of progressive rhinos in there that go along with the president's schemes no matter what, and they haven't done anything with the control that they've had, and they help put one of his people in. But beyond that, there's a possibility of up to 3 or 4 other justices that retire within the next term of the next president. So we're looking at 4 to 5 replacements of justices over the next 4 years. In one of my last videos, I said that one of the things that would get me to go out and vote for Trump enthusiastically or semi-enthusiastically would be 2 things: if he went after Hillary Clinton, and also if he nominated Ted Cruz to replace Justice Scalia on the Supreme Court bench. Unfortunately, when Donald Trump came out with his list of Supreme Court picks, Ted Cruz was not on that list. But the list that he did give was okay. It was pretty good with the justices that he would supposedly pick from. Now, sometimes they say that the devil you know is better than the devil that you don't. In this case, the devil that we know is Hillary Clinton, and we know the types of things that she would be doing and the types of people that she would pick. They would be progressive, anti-Constitution, Democrat liberals that would want to shred certain parts of the Constitution, and we absolutely cannot have that. I mean, this is territory that we shouldn't even be venturing into right now, and it's a horrible situation that we're put into, because we're making this election of 2 candidates with the highest unlikability ratings into one of the most important elections because of the issues that are on the table right now. So I came to the conclusion that the justice pick for the Supreme Court, a lifelong term, is more important than the next 4 or 8 years. And where we know Hillary's going to make horrible choices, we can at least take a gamble and play some casino odds that what Donald Trump is saying he might actually do. And that's kind of always been the point on where I stand with Donald Trump. It's not that I disagree with what he's saying, although I think he's thin on details when he's talking to people and he's just out there to rile them up. what he's saying makes sense, and it's what I want a president to be doing. My problem has always been that I just don't trust him. Should I roll the dice right now and hope that he gets some of these things done, as opposed to having someone in office that I know will completely fail and do the wrong things for the country? I kind of think it's worth that gamble at this point. Let's quickly go through the issues for Donald Trump and where he stands, or supposedly stands, and hoping that he does them. Number one, biggest thing, is the border, building a wall. I don't necessarily think that we need to build a wall. I think if we pull our troops from overseas where they don't need to be, where we have established bases of operations just to keep an eye on countries that we've already been in, and we pull all those people home, and instead of destabilizing and taking apart or disassembling our military, instead putting them along the border with new technology, we can have a virtual wall plus personnel down on the border. What I agree with Donald Trump on is that we need to secure that border. Along with that is the immigration problem. Donald Trump realizes that part of the immigration problem is that we have infiltration of ISIS members into the Syrian refugee programs that are going out to other countries to help them out. And within those people, we have these ISIS members that are infiltrating countries and causing havoc. Here in the United States, we already have, from what I understand, a cell of ISIS terrorists and training camps in almost every state that we have in the United States. Here in Pennsylvania, there's word that there's a training cell up in the Poconos. His theory, or his plan, to shut down the immigration or stop Muslims from coming into the country right now, it sounds harsh, but what he's actually saying is, I think I've said it before, it's like having a pipe burst in your basement and it starts flooding. Instead of taking a bucket while it's flooding and trying to get that out, it's just going to be perpetual. It's going to keep on flowing in while you're flowing out with the buckets. What you need to do is you need to shut off the valve, figure out the problem, take care of the problem, then empty it out and start the process over again and start it flowing. So in this case, we have an immigration problem into this country, and we have these infiltrations by ISIS members and other people that mean us harm. We need to shut down the immigration system, find out the problem, take care of the problem, then start it back up again with hopefully a streamlined process, because we have people that have been waiting 15, 20 years to get into this country, and that, for me, is too long a process as well anyway. A big one for me is that Donald Trump said that he's anti-Common Core. Now, if we could get anyone to shut down Common Core, that's for the good of the whole country. This was a system that was put in place by a bunch of bureaucrats, not teachers, in the Department of Education. It's literally a program that's using today's youth as guinea pigs, as a testing ground to see if this program actually works. And if it doesn't, they're going to wash their hands clean, say, yeah, we screwed over a generation, let's try something new, or go back to the old stuff for the next generation. In the meantime, my children, and possibly your children, are left with this debacle of trying to figure out what works best, and they're left upstream without any help. I used to listen to Donald Trump interviews back in around 2007 when he would call into some of the shows, and he was talking about trade deals back then and the trading of economies between here and China and everything, and he made a lot of sense back then, and I really enjoyed listening to him because I really think he knows what he's talking about. And the fact that that is one of his sticking points still is pretty cool to me. I appreciate that. So I believe him on that he would follow through with trying to get some sort of better deal going with other countries and the taxes and tariffs between us. And I also believe, knowing that his family hunts and everything, that he would protect the Second Amendment. I don't personally think that he's a religious person, that he's a man of faith, even though he proclaims it. But at the same time, the way he talks about religion isn't anti-religion. I also kind of think that he may protect religious freedom. So there's another thing I might agree with him on. As I said, this is really coming down to a casino gambling game. I'm going to go in there and roll the dice that I hope everything that he's saying that he wants to do, he will actually do. He's had a past of doing liberal things or supporting liberal candidates and politicians. and that's what's been set in the back of my mind, that he's actually playing a game with us and will actually go through with more liberal policies. But at the same time, taking that gamble is better than voting for someone that I know will give us liberal policies. There's a lot of criticisms about Trump out there that I think are unwarranted too. For instance, I don't think that he's a racist. Despite all the crazy things that he's been saying, I have never heard anything racist out of his mouth. If you want to include things about the border crisis and Muslim refugees that belong in ISIS groups and everything, that's observant facts. But it's not racism. Right now he's dealing with a case with the Trump University scandal, and the judge in that case it may belong has belonged to La Raza Lawyers Group, which is stands for the race, and he has appointed a prosecutor that has donated to the Clinton Foundation or the Clintons as politicians in the past for $400,000 worth of speeches, as well as campaign contributions as well. Trump is railing against this judge for the La Raza connection, as well as appointing a prosecutor that's connected with Clinton. And a lot of people don't understand why that's a conflict of interest. I happen to align with Trump on this one because we're in an election cycle. He's running against the Clintons, and he has a judge that, at least through connections, has supported the Clintons. And in an election year, if he can get a case against Trump as ammunition for the Clintons, it just makes sense that this judge is not going to be impartial and fair. It doesn't make sense for this judge to be part of this case right now. He should be taken off of this, and a new judge should replace him. Those are my thoughts on it. I'm going to go in and vote for Trump in this general election because I think that Hillary is one of the worst things that could happen to this country. But I want to know what you think. If you're a Trump supporter, I'm sure you're elated to hear that I'm going to be voting for Trump, even though I've been railing against him now in all my videos. If you're anti-Trump and a NeverTrump person, tell me your thoughts on the process. I have my issues with Gary Johnson as well. I don't think that he's for all the libertarian stances that he should be for in regards to abortion and religious freedom for businesses. I don't think he really takes a libertarian stance. I think Austin Peterson would have been a much better choice. So I don't care to hear any comments on voting third party, but I want to hear your thoughts and comments on the difference between sitting at home and not voting at all, or going in voting for everyone but the president, or going in and voting for Trump if you are an anti-Trump person. So you can leave your comments below. I'm interested in reading them. I think that getting the facts out there, this is really your vote and your time to pick the president. I don't want to force my opinion on you, but I would be interested in having an open conversation with everyone. I appreciate you watching this video. If you're interested in more, you can subscribe by clicking over here. Also, if you're interested, you can check out my last video by clicking up here. It was a really interesting one. I'm still interested in getting into some discussions on that one as well. Until next time, I'm the Generation Y Conservative. Thanks for watching.